Hey, today I'll be talking about episodes 27 through 29 of YanXi Palace. There's a huge storm coming and preparations are being made. Rather than help with preparations at Changchun Palace, Yingluo goes to make a visit. They try to bar her from entering, but she makes a scene, and finally, Yu has no choice but to come out. As the thunder rolls in, Yingluo starts to speak loudly, telling everyone that Dowager Consort Yu's son assaulted her sister, and then Yu had her killed to keep her quiet. Mama Yu proclaims her innocence, but Yingluo reminds her that she can lie to herself and everyone else, but she cannot lie to the heavens. All confidence, Yu says she has never harmed anyone and makes the classic, "If I'm lying, let me be struck down by lightning" vow. At this point, if you told me Yingluo could do that Superman trick and turn back time, I'd believe you. She controls lightning now? Staring up at the sky in shock at what seems to be divine retribution, Yu dies. Yingluo made her accusation, Yu swore to the heavens, and the heavens answered. It's practically ironclad proof that Yingluo was telling the truth and that Yu has been putting on an act for years. Maybe I shouldn't have been, but I was actually surprised that Yingluo did this. I honestly didn't expect that after swearing to the Empress she would go back on her word. I know how much this means to her, but the Yingluo I know would have simply told the Empress that she couldn't make that promise, not lie. Then again, I guess this has always been priority number one. The Empress is deeply disappointed that Yingluo not only betrayed her trust, but now won't even admit that she had a hand in it, claiming that she only went over there to confront Yu, and the lightning was an act of God. Yingluo sticks to her story. She went to confront her sister's killer and the heavens intervened. It's the last straw. The Empress tells her she no longer has need for her services. Yingluo tries to beg her to at least let her stay until she delivers. She promises she's done for good, but at this point the Empress simply can't trust her anymore. She sends her to a workhouse where she will be doing physical labor. No! Do you know how vulnerable your palace will be without Yingluo? Gao is going to throw a party. It's like you live in the worst neighborhood and you decided to just throw all your doors and windows open. And it also goes the other way. Who's gonna protect Yingluo now? At Dowager Consort Yu's funeral, the emperor hears what happened. The way every single problem in the palace lately can be traced right back to Yingluo. He rushes over to the empress's palace and orders Yingluo arrested. The Empress says she already sent Yingluo away, which means, aww, it wasn't just anger, she did it to protect her. Exasperated, the Emperor asks why she insists on protecting Yingluo no matter what she does. She recounts the day after they married when they entered the palace to meet with the then Empress. They both gave their greetings and everything seemed fine. She thanked the Empress for her grace and presented her a gift. She is sweetness and grace as she describes how she made the embroidery. But the Empress is not impressed. She sends Hongli away, and then when they are alone, she tells her to copy Virtues of a Woman 100 times as punishment. Her crime? Just now, she said more words than her husband did. So began a life under constant pressure, chained down by rules and regulation. The Empress says she has spent her whole adult life straining under the weight of living up to her mandate, to be the perfect, virtuous example to all women. Her every thought and action has to be for the good of the nation. Her every word has to prove that she is worthy of her title. She cannot make a single mistake. It was only through Yingluo that she was finally able to see something different. A woman just being herself, strong and independent and being who she wants to be, never worrying about how others see her, just living for herself. She knows that she will never have that life back, but she can't see it snuffed out. She wants to protect Yingluo like she wishes she could have protected the person she was before she became the Empress. To the Emperor's credit, though he clearly did not see what the Empress was going through, once she explains it, he's not dismissive at all. He might never be able to fully understand, but I think for the most part he gets it. He promises not to pursue things with Yingluo. Shen decides to pay Hongzhou's mother's tomb a visit. Because of the circumstances of her death, everyone has been avoiding her palace, and none of the other consorts even went to pay their respects. She meets a very depressed Hongzhou. When he asks why she's there, she says that the lightning was merely a coincidence and that, unlike the others, she doesn't believe his mother could have been a bad person. She comforts him a bit, telling him to keep his head up. Should've known, Shen 2.0 would not be doing this for no reason. She purposely wore this old pendant knowing it would remind him of their shared past. Apparently, she helped him out once when they were younger. Little Hongzhou was out and about and got his money pouch stolen. He ran off after the thief but just ended up tired and hungry. Little Shen found him and gave him some food. Hongzhou didn't realize it was her until just now when he saw that pendant again. This little extra plot point kinda seemed like overkill to me. Showing him kindness now when he's at his lowest point I think was more than enough, but anyway, yes, Hongzhou is now Team Shen. Shen knows she'll need all the supporters she can get because at the behest of Jia's father, Jia's little sister will be entering the palace soon and will no doubt do everything in her power to get her nephew back. We also get a bit more insight into Hongzhou's psyche. Young Hongzhou actually had aspirations, but his mother knew that 4th Prince was the favorite to be the crown prince and was constantly forcing him to yield to 4th Prince in all things. Hongzhou was not happy about this and wanted to fight for his right to shine, but obviously, eventually, his mom convinced him to give up on his ambitions and now we have this Hongzhou. So the emperor was right, he has been mostly faking his crazy personality. Still a rapist though. Alright, on to the labor department. It's pretty much the bottom of the ladder, all the worst jobs you can think of, sweeping the paths, pulling out weeds, and Yingluo is starting out at the bottom of the ladder, cleaning chamber pots. She meets her co-worker, Yuan Wang, in charge of transporting the chamber pots. It has been a while. If you remember, Yuan is a young eunuch who got framed for stealing Consort Shen's things. The other servants turned on him and his life has only gone downhill from there, hence his current shitty position. Although, despite his lack of interest, he is a hit with the maids. They find all this brooding deep and mysterious, I guess. If you want the palace maids all over you, all you have to do is just never say a single word to anyone. They seem to love that. We also get another familiar face, Jinshou, still just as bitter as she was last year. She's the one who fell for Yingluo's pregnancy scheme, which is what got her sent here, so yeah, pretty big grudge there. Thanks to Jinshou, Yingluo won't be making any friends amongst the maids. So instead, she ends up focusing her efforts on Yuan out of boredom.
我入了紫禁城那么久，还没见过长得这么好看的太监。
Good luck with that. Fu Heng gets the news about Yingluo and rushes over to see her. He immediately wants to run off and get married in secret, but Yingluo is much too practical for that. She says it's over, but if he insists that she needs to make up for leading him on, she can do that.
干嘛？
What a juicy scene to end up eavesdropping on. So anyway, Fu Heng makes it clear that her little tricks are never going to push him away, and that he will wait as long as she needs to be ready to face the road ahead together. Though the emperor promised to leave Yingluo alone, he's having his servants increase her workload, hoping she cracks and comes to beg him for help. Absolutely pathetic. Too bad too, because she's proven herself very capable by improving some procedures at the labor department, and were it not for the emperor's orders, she would no doubt have received the promotion by now. We find out why Yuan is so standoffish and never eats with the rest of the workers. One of the supervisors has the hots for him and is constantly trying to get in his pants, even though they're both eunuchs. Yuan has made it clear that he isn't interested, so he's made his life here hell. Yuan worries that he might try to tamper with his food and, without any dog food to steal, has resorted to eating from the trash once everyone else is done with their meals. Now that she understands what's up with him, Yingluo renews her efforts to befriend him, bringing him food every day. He's, of course, distrustful of her at first, but eventually hunger gets the best of him and he eats one of her buns. And it looks like he was totally right to be so paranoid. Unfortunately, the supervisor noticed Yingluo bringing him food and already had the bun drugged. With Yuan slowly losing consciousness, the supervisor tries to, Yingluo knocks him out and tries to help Yuan get away. They force him into a dung cart that will be leaving the palace the next day and steal his credentials so he can't get back in, which is a crazy move. I mean, obviously f this guy, but imagine waking up with no identity. How do you even prove you are anyone but a crazy homeless man? Anyway, after an experience like that, you can't not become best friends. I already love them. Considering the unfortunate series of events that led him here, you really can't blame him for being so unwilling to open his heart to strangers, but now the walls are down and Yingluo finally has a friend. I think they're actually quite similar. They have tough exteriors and they can be vicious when they need to, but they're still quite caring and sensitive on the inside. Also, since he saw what happened between her and Fu Heng, they can even chat about her love woes. His advice? Give up. If you were at all confused about the lightning scene, not to worry, it's not your fault. It's already been confirmed that there was a deleted scene of Yingluo sewing thin metal thread into used gauze curtain to attract lightning, but all we got was a little hint when the gauze is first delivered.
这窗纱呀，都是在绣房特别定制的。
我刚刚摸了摸，分明硬得很。我看你们是以次充好了吧？
I don't know why they cut this because it just made this seem like magic, but in any case, knowing Yingluo, I guess most people would know that this wasn't something she'd leave to chance. Now that Yingluo is a lower class servant, she's on the ground floor, so to speak, and sees a lot more of the realities of palace life. She's actually had it pretty easy coming in as an embroidery maid and then immediately making it to the grandest palace in the harem. Here, we're in the trenches, and it is rough, rough, rough. I really wanted to be sick thinking about what Yuan has been going through. This place is so fucked up. As light as this drama can be, it's also weirdly the darkest harem drama in terms of the places it's willing to go. I do really want to gush about Yuan a bit because I love him so much. I think the way he immediately became so attached to Yingluo might be off-putting for some people, but for me it just reads like he's just not used to having a friend. Like he's finally found a kindred spirit that he can just be himself around.
你让付恒来跟你说，
我又没让你帮我刷。
And yeah, he's a weirdo, but so is Yingluo. Plus, it's really fun seeing Yingluo finally faced with someone as crazy as she is.
魏璎珞杀了张管事啊！
疯了也出没。
Please, please don't let this be too short-lived. I want them to stay together forever.
我们俩在一起，互相取暖，互相支持，一起在这个深宫里活下去。
好，
那我做你的情人好不好？
你做梦！
Till next time, thanks for watching.
绝症了！